Hey guys, it's Nikki. In order to celebrate the cover reveal for Headcase, I thought I would do an excerpt reading from Breed, especially for those of you who couldn't make it to the book launch back in the beginning of August when the book came out. It's also in celebration of the fact that I've got 5 copies of the ebook for Breed available in a giveaway on Amazon.com. I'll share the link with you guys in the blog post about it a little bit later. So yeah, I'm going to be reading from chapter 10 from Breed, so if you want to follow along. Okay. Chapter 10. My eyes burn, and I press the palms of my hands against them and let the tears gather. I've spent the last 3 hours working my way through various forms of the maze. I've died at the hands of more velociraptors than I can count. I can't run the maze anymore. I thought after the first 3 I'd be done, and they moved me on to a new program, something that actually had meaning. But no. On my 16th maze, and I'm so bored with the program, I consider asking Miss Hartman to switch me into a different class. The only thing that keeps me in the room is hacking into the school. Hacking into the school happened a week ago, but finding worthwhile information has proven to be much more difficult. Miss Hartman knows what she's doing. I hit print on the latest files of information I've discovered. It looks like they're linked to the cage Angel and I found Ichiro and Preston in. Leave. I hit escape and push the keyboard up. I don't want anyone to see what I've been working on in addition to the maze program. The screen flickers back to the main screen on the game. Leave. My stomach clenches and a chill runs down my spine. I gather my things as quickly as possible and wait for the report to print out. My weight shifts from foot to foot. Whatever is going to happen, it isn't going to be good. The door opens before the report finishes. I jump. My heart thunders in my chest. I can't grab the papers. My hands are shaking. Andy stands in the doorway, his large frame shadowed by the low light of the computer. I'm used to the bluish glow from the screens, but he's not, and it takes him a while to find me in the room. I shove the papers into my bag, but I'm not sure where to go. He's blocking the doorway. He's covered in soot again, and something brick red is splattered across his shirt. There's something in his hand, but I can't tell what. You didn't sit with me, he says, his voice low like a growl like a wolf. I thought it would be disrespectful to Celine, I say, my voice trembling. He appears bigger standing in the doorway, stronger, the veins in his neck pulsing and his hands clenched into tight fists. I nervously pace back and forth. She's your partner, and I was there with Ichiro. It seemed inappropriate. Ichiro, what's with this guy? All the girls talk about him, Andy says, slamming his fist against the wall. There's a cracking sound and a squishing noise. Blood drips from his knuckles. In the hall light, I notice his eyes are rimmed with red, and his pupils cover so much of his eyes that he appears demonic. A tremor begins in my hand and moves up my body. The hair on the back of my neck stands on end. My stomach currently lives in my feet. He's my partner. I respect that, I say, grabbing my papers off the printer and shoving them into my bag. I can't get around him yet, but I want to be ready for an opening. I don't dare tell him that I have feelings for Ichiro. Apparently there's a long line. Jealousy clenches at my chest, but I push it aside. Now is not the time. I'm not good enough for you, darling? He asks, taking a step into the room. It's not enough space for me to squeeze through, but it's a start. Good enough for what? I ask, backing up a step. Maybe if I move away, he'll come further inside. Don't corner yourself. I swallow hard. For me. All the other girls are hooking up with the guys but you. What are you waiting for? World's about to end. Better enjoy yourself while you can, he says, taking another step in. He cackles, the sound menacing and laced with an intense amount of anger and lust. I don't understand, I say, sidestepping. He's leaving a gap open to his left. My heart moves into my throat. I can't breathe. Don't be naive. His eyes narrow and he's shaking. The muscles on his face and arms bulge and pulse. Veins pop from every part of his body, visible around his clothes. I take another step to the left, but he doesn't wait. It's not like in the movies where the hero gets the villain monologuing and manages to escape. Andy is fast, like he's hopped up on drugs. There is no time. I'm defending myself before my brain processes what's going on. He's swinging a scalpel like a knife. I struggle to remember everything Schwartz taught me. My side burns. Liquid slides down my skin and over my hip. I've never felt such a pain before in my life. Andy slashes. I dodge. My right arm won't go up higher than my chest. Intense pain burns my side and tears fill my eyes. I can't cry. I need to see clearly. Andy throws me to the ground. My back burns and my head is pounding from hitting the tile floor. I struggle to back away, but I'm pressed up against the wall. I'll make you understand what you're missing, he says. He's coming up on me, and I have nowhere left to go. Before he can climb on top of me, the top of his head slams into the wall behind me. I narrowly avoid getting a headbutt. Behind Andy is Ichiro. He's taken up a fighting stance, and he's breathing heavily. His muscles twitch, and he waits for Andy to stagger back. into a standing position. "Are you all right?" he asks me, but he doesn't have time to hear my response. Andy is standing and swinging his scalpel around again. A wave of relief washes over me. Ichiro is here. Ichiro came to save me. Ichiro avoids the blade with deft skills. I scoot to the other side of the wall from the fighting. My right hand is slick with blood, and I struggle to stand, using the wall for balance. Schwartz charges into the room and takes in the scene. He makes his way over to me first. Ichiro slams his fist into Andy's cheek. "Let's go." Schwartz takes my hand and guides me out of the room. "What happened?" "Out in the hallway there's blood." I realize that's what was splattered all over Andy's shirt. One of the doors is covered in soot, and a bloody smear runs along the wall. "Andy came into the room," I say. My words come out strained and through my teeth. The pain is intense, and I'm struggling to keep the lightheaded, detached sensation at bay. "What? Your intuition couldn't tell you that was going to happen?" He's trying to make light of the situation with a forced smirk, but I don't find it funny. I don't think Andy is injured. I didn't see any wounds on him. Where did all the blood come from? "It did. I was waiting for my report to print out. That's what happens when I don't listen," I say. He hands me a handkerchief and instructs me to hold it against my side. "I'm going to help Ichiro," he says. There's tapping on the tile floor, heels, and Malcolm appears. I'm not sure where she came from since the elevator is in the other direction, but I'm grateful she's with me. I don't want to be left alone. Schwartz disappears back into the computer room, and there is a struggle. Loud noises, crashes as equipment falls to the ground. "Where?" Malcolm asks, dropping to my side. She lifts my arm and runs her hand over the rip of my shirt. I roll onto my side and show her the gash Andy left me with. It isn't wide, but it's deep. He pressed pretty hard. She looks around the hall. "Where's the rest of the blood from?" I shake my head. Malcolm stands and brushes off her skirt before making her way to the door with soot and blood smears. She's cautious when she steps inside, and I'm left alone in the hallway. "Dr. Malcolm?" I ask. It's quiet in my computer room. The silence seeps into the hall, and tremors run along my arms and legs. Adrenaline runs through my muscles. My legs ache. "What did you do?" Schwartz asks. Andy's wrists are behind his back, and zip ties Andy's wrists are behind his back, and zip ties act like handcuffs. Schwartz practically drags him out of the room. He's fighting, his muscles straining and covered in bulging veins, but he's erratic, and Schwartz keeps a good hand on him. "You can't tell me no. I will have a piece of you before the end," Andy spits at me. I draw back, pressing myself against the wall. I don't want to be near him, ever. "Angel's dead," Malcolm says, coming out of the room. "Stabbed."